I actually quite like the fact that the Normanton Park was issued a no-sale license.
CCR, RCR and OCR, it's more for academic. Honestly, if you ask me for an opinion, it doesn't really matter.
Do the developer reputation matters? To hear developers going bust or bankrupt in the midst of building a development, it is very rare. Not to say that it has not happened. And as you can see over here, we have a very good example. The same developer behind these two particular developments, Laurel Tree and Skymore Tree. Now, Laurel Tree is over at the Hillview Avenue area, and the Skymore Tree is over at the Joo Chiat area. Cases like this are so rare, right? Generally speaking, most developers in Singapore are okay. I mean, okay in the sense that they deliver on time.
Maybe I share a bit of background of this Laurel Tree and Skymore Tree.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Basically, right, these are two incomplete freehold condos. Alright. Two condos, two projects, but under the same guy. I think this is one company. Both are supposed to receive their TOP, they must move in by 2016. But due to the financial crisis, this boss kind of went bankrupt, so cannot complete. No TOP, and they're doing a lot of investigation. So I think it's still ongoing. They're in court case right now. Does developer reputation matters? I think this question can be summarized, answered using the insurance idea. Insurance being from two areas. One, they are less likely to go bust.
Yes.
You're more likely to get your condo on time. Two, quality better.
Yes.
So these are two things. If you go for big boys like CDL,
if you look at their past track record and what they have developed before, right, it tend to sell out, tend to be very well received by the market, and in terms of the layout and the finishing and quality, very well received.
I think this question is more related to quality assurance. If you're really very scared and you want to be 100% safe, like buying full insurance, but then you have to pay a bit of price on that, because full insurance also costs more money.
So when it comes to developments, you have like the mega projects like Normanton Park, and then you have these very small ones that you can find in the Joo Chiat area, where the development has maybe no facility, is totally gated up, but there are only like 20 units in total, and the developer is normally not well known at all.
Normanton Park is a China developer, and they have some quality issues with their previous condo. So when it comes to launching the Normanton Park, there are a lot of delays and more stringent checks and so-called controls by the government. That they will even issue a no sales license, which this issue has been resolved. I think this is a very healthy topic to discuss, because the government is concerned. That means in a way our government is doing something to control the whole thing. So for more details, right, look out for my other videos, Normanton Park review.
You can see the link over here.
We had about a long discussion about this topic.
I actually quite like the fact that the Normanton Park was issued a no sale license, because it meant that the authorities were actually listening. The developers are actually listening to the feedback. Because a lot of times we feel that, oh, we are talking to the wind. No one is listening to us. But this is a very rare case where the authorities say, hey, we are listening to you. We're not going to give him a no sale license, and we're going to inspect each and every single unit. Am I correct, Dennis?
Yes.
Each and every single unit in this 1,800 plus project before they can be issued TOP. Yes. So that means to say, when you make your voice heard, the authorities will listen. And don't be too concerned about the developer's reputation sometimes, if the product is something you really like, because all developers in Singapore, generally speaking, go through very stringent processes before they are able to even build something in the first place. Now, for the very last topic in this video, Dennis,
your favorite topic,
we will be talking about, do the district matters? Before we talk about this, right, we have to understand in terms of district, what are we talking about? We're not talking about district 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. We are basically going to classify Singapore into 3 areas. So let's start from OCR. Now, what does OCR mean?
Maybe I give a bit of background. I think in Singapore, there's two main methods of trying to classify our areas.
Sure.
One is the old school way, where they go by district 1 to 28. So district 9 is so-called Orchard Road. Then east side Katong area will be district 15. Then maybe the Punggol Sengkang area will be district 19. Now the more commonly used method by the government or the URA, they use this CCR, Core Central Region, versus RCR and OCR.
Yes. You can see from the screen that most of Singapore actually comprises of OCR,
Right.
and it basically means outside central region.
Right.
RCR is generally places that are close to the city but not really in the city area. So for places like Queenstown, places like Farrer Road, where is CCR located? Well, they are located mainly in the district 9, 10, 11, Orchard Road,
Right.
Holland Village, Bukit Timah, and Novena as well. But that is not all. Did you know that Sentosa is actually District 4 is actually also considered as CCR for this very purpose, and not to forgetting some parts of the CBD, which is District 1 and 2 as well. To answer the question of do the district matters, we first have to understand the concept of stretching your dollar. So meaning to say, if you have a budget of let's say 1.5 million, 1.5 million in the CCR region can maybe get you a 1-bedroom at the very least, or maybe a 2-bedroom if you were able to stretch out above a little bit 1.5 million. If you were to ask me, can buying a property in OCR make money? The answer is yes, it can. Can buying a property in CCR region make money? Yes. But we must also not forget who are the buyers looking at these particular areas. Now, for foreign investors, when they first come into Singapore, right, the very first areas they will target will be the CCR. Why is that so? Because it's what their friends tell them in their home country. It's what they see on the portal. The moment they come to Singapore, the first image they see is Marina Bay Sands, Sentosa, you know. So they will always associate Singapore with that. And when they want to buy a property, chances are they will buy property near these two landmark areas, which is why Sentosa Cove is still pretty popular with foreigners, and those condos around the Marina Bay areas also popular with foreigners as well. But because these areas are mainly purchased by foreigners, right, they don't have what we call the attachment to Singapore. Meaning to say, when they want to let go of their property, they will do so without hesitation. And if it comes down to making a loss, they will make a loss and they will just exit the country just like that. This is the reason why the core central region CCR, when it rises spectacularly, but when it falls, it also falls spectacularly, as compared to the OCR and RCR region, where the purchasers are mainly HDB upgraders or Singaporeans who want to own a second property in Singapore. So Dennis, if I have made any mistakes, then you can feel free to clarify me.
There's nothing wrong with that, but in my opinion, this concept of CCR, RCR, and OCR is more of an academic study or categorization by the URI, because there must be categories.
Yes.
So Cat A, Cat B, Cat C. So CCR, all these are the categories. To me, it's more for academic or for research purposes. Good to know.
Yes.
But if honestly you ask me for an opinion, it doesn't really matter. For example, if let's say I'm selling my property in RCR, maybe the next road, opposite road, could be OCR due to the landmark segregation. But I can't tell the buyer, hey, because I'm RCR, opposite is OCR, so I can sell you $10 per square foot more. Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
So it's just that it's a way of classification. It's just to tell you that if OCR condo costs $1, RCR is likely to cost 1.2 because it's more centralized. CCR, very central, it's going to cost 1.5. It just acts as a guide to tell you roughly the amount of guide price there. When it comes to the actual pricing, if it is a good condo, all the attributes of near MRT or is it new, or these are the things that you have to come down and take a look. So this is just on paper or academic usage.
I do agree, Dennis, that this method of classifying Singapore into these three different regions, right, is actually what a lot of other countries have done. If I'm not mistaken, in London they have what we call the Zone 1, Zone 2 and Zone 3 as well, where Zone 1 is closer to the London Central, and then Zone 2, Zone 3 maybe spreads out a little bit more. So this way of categorizing Singapore, right, is actually not very new. Actually, it's not a new concept. A lot of countries have also done it in this method. I personally feel that if you are looking to buy as an end user, this could matter a lot,
right?
Because there are people who like to tell people, hey, I stay in the CCR area. Those who are in the know will immediately answer, oh, this guy stays in the city central area, you know.
Right.
Although he did not specify where exactly, but you know it's in the city central area. Because our country being on a smaller side, right, actually this kind of categorization don't really matter once you hit a certain location. So let's talk about Upper Bukit Timah, for example. Upper Bukit Timah is very interesting in the sense that it is the boundary between RCR OCR and CCR actually.
Right. The first thing that comes to mind, right, when these areas get confusing, reminds me of the election days where suddenly I'm being classified into this GRC and GRC. So to me, it doesn't make sense. It's for their own academic or for practical reason, but doesn't really affect the layman.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect the layman.
Yeah.
What should be more important is that is there a growth story in that particular location you're looking for. So I believe in one of our previous topics we have touched a bit about the Ule area, the Bidadari area. Right. So Bidadari has their own transformation story in the sense that there's a lot of BTOs coming up over there, and with these BTO new homeowners, when they are looking to buy a condo in the future, right, they will want to be buying something in the region, and with the new estate coming up, the place will be more lively. Each and every area more or less have their own growth story. Upper Bukit Timah has their own in the sense of the integrated transport hub. Jurong East also has their own. Even without a high-speed rail, it's still going to become our second CBD in a way. So I feel that personally, in my opinion, actually this way of categorizing Singapore should not really affect your property purchase more. The growth story of that area should inform your decision better.
So we have come to the end of the video. If you need any help or have any other questions, leave us a comment or call us this number. We'll try our best to help you.
And if you would like to see a similar video but with different topics compared to the ones we have done before, feel free to leave your suggestions over here, and we will do our very best to share with you with our own experiences how we can overcome and maybe tackle the questions that you have for us.
Right. So thanks for watching.
Yes. Hope you have enjoyed the video and you have come away with something.
Right.
And we hope to see you again.
Yep. See you next time.
See you.